What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's Wise 5 Picks stream. It's an exciting day here at Capwise for a couple different reasons. So first and foremost, we have coming up tonight at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, a full, probably 45-minute to an hour long NBA playoff betting preview stream. So Ben, tell us what that's going to entail and who our special guest is going to be.
Yes, so the special guest is Harrison Wind. He is with DMVR, which is a local sports media company out here in Denver, but they really cover all sports and all teams. He has a lot of knowledge in the NBA. He's broken some news. He's wired in. He's tapped in. So he's going to join us. He's not the biggest sports bettor himself, but I think having him on will be great as we can get some more info, talk about some matchups in the first round, get our sleepers to win it all, and then our favorites to win the NBA championship. So it should be a great conversation. He's a good buddy of mine. We worked together about 4 or 5 years ago, and we've kept in touch. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, so that's going to be mostly just him and Ben. I'm going to be here. I don't think I'm going to have a camera on. I'm just going to kind of be sitting behind the scenes operating the stream.
Kind of creepy.
Is it?
Well, it's like when I hopped in the chat last Friday. You're like, Ben isn't here, and then I'm like, hey.
Mm-hmm. True.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Another reason why it's an exciting day at Capwise is our baseball model is done. It is ready. It is like ready. So that is available in full right now to all of our Capwise.com premium users and everybody who was invited to the beta. That beta is probably going to last, I don't know exactly how long. We haven't talked about it.
Yeah, we might have to extend it a little bit.
Yeah, and they need a couple of weeks with the model. I think that was kind of the idea. The time frame was set up for that to be the case. We're going to stick with that. So probably another 2 weeks or so, I'd say.
Yeah, and I was going to say one thing real quick. You know, we're not very salesy with what we do, but at $19.99 a month, it's an effing no-brainer. I'm going to leave it at that. Ask anyone who's subscribed.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have several people in the chat who can tell you how much of a no-brainer it is. I mean, it makes your money back every single day.
If you're betting over $3 a pick, then you're doubling your ROI, more or less, something like that. So I hope
I don't know if that's an exact statistic right there, but we can at some point once we have, especially with baseball, once we have more data on the model, provide some actual data.
My point is you don't need to be like a $100 bettor to see ROI. Like
and our goal is at pricing it at $20 a month is to make it accessible to everybody. I mean, we know that there's not everybody bets enough to make a $100 a month, $300 a month type subscription.
Yeah, man, these guys sign up for services that are $200 a month, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I only bet $20 like a game." Mm-hmm. You're like, "Ooh, yeah." So it makes sense for everybody, and that was kind of the goal.
Yep. So, anyways, baseball model is done. Baseball model has helped us make some of today's picks. It actually also helped out yesterday, kind of secretly behind the scenes. Didn't talk about that at all on stream, I don't think, but it was pretty key in both the Astros team total over and the over in that Twins Angels game that we had. So a quick recap of yesterday's picks. We had Rangers money line at plus 100 against the Yankees, which lost. I think we had a perfect handicap on that game as far as the Yankees starting lineup not being able to do anything offensively. But then in comes Urshela and Judge off the bench, both with pinch hit RBIs to drive in the only runs the Yankees scored. So we lost that one.
I still like that play though.
Yeah, I don't regret the play at all.
Oh, and then Judge came in and had a RBI too.
Yeah, I said Urshela and Judge.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. I was like, damn it, Judge.
Yeah.
I thought you were dead.
Again, we had that game total over 7 in game 1 between the Twins and the Angels. That hit. We had Astros team total over 4.5 against the Athletics, which hit. We had Jordan Alvarez to hit a home run which did not hit. We're done with home run props for the time being. We got to get the mojo back. Although if it went anything like Schwarber did yesterday, then Alvarez is going to hit one today. I actually did like a few today also.
Especially in the Rockies game.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a 19-mile-an-hour wind blowing out, of course.
Yeah. I was like, oh, man, Nick's not going to like another home run prop.
No, we can't do another home run prop. And there was a
mojo back.
Strikeout prop that I absolutely loved. And then we had our Nerfy in the Miami Marlins Philadelphia Phillies game. We survived the late scratch of Vince Velasquez. David Hale was able to retire the Marlins. Alcantara did his thing, and we hit that one as well.
Hey, sometimes it works out. You know, these batters are ready to see a guy, and then all of a sudden some other guy's out on the mound. So I'll take it, I guess.
Also, going through the chat, what's up, Larry? What's up, T Cherry? What's up, Jack?
Birthday.
And happy birthday, T Cherry.
16 years old, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
the big 1-6.
He's been betting for 5 years since he was 11.
Jack is gonna be at the Cubs Cards game. Want some input? Absolutely, I do have some input. We don't have a wise pick on the game, but I have some input. I have an opinion.
That's gonna be a fun series.
It is.
Both teams are playing pretty good, and it's a rivalry, I would say.
And what's up, Matt? The subscription is paid for in a day or two. Yeah, absolutely. But we're not gonna harp on that anymore. So let's get into some picks. So today, I think, is a little bit more of a value day as opposed to chasing plus money type day. I don't think we have any plus money picks on the board. And we have a couple that are sitting in more like the minus 140 type range.
And Nick, real quick, can you drop in the chat the spreadsheet?
No, I'm not going to. Oh, the pick spreadsheet or the model spreadsheet?
The picks.
Okay, I was like, no, I'm not dropping the model spreadsheet.
No, picks spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Just for those who are newer.
So !pick history in the chat brings up just a list of all 105 picks that we've made on stream. So our money line pick today is going to be one of these that is more of a value play as opposed to chasing a plus money play. We have the Tampa Bay Rays at minus 149 against the Toronto Blue Jays. So Ben, do you want to get this one started, or do you want me to take it?
You started off. I gotta pull one thing up real quick.
Okay, so
sorry.
There's a couple reasons why we like this one. So one of the reasons is our brand new shiny baseball model. So the model, which runs at the play-by-play level, so it literally takes in the batting order and the pitchers and the weather and the park for every game, simulates the outcome of all of the at-bats at like an at-bat by at-bat level and evolves the game from there. Puts the Rays to win this game at minus 294. So if the Rays are at minus 294 and the Rays money line is sitting at minus 149, that's a 15% difference almost in the implied probability between what the model has the Rays winning and what Vegas has the Rays winning at. So that's just a fantastic value from that perspective. And yeah, Glasnow's pitching for the Rays, which I really think is the big reason why the model likes the Rays so much. I mean, Glasnow's just a fantastic pitcher. There's not really much more to say about him. Somebody's going to wait for me to say that he's electric. I mean, and he is. He is really.
Yeah. I was going to make the point, Nick, with Anthony K.
Yeah, talk about K. Every home run begins with K.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Damn, I was going to use something like that too.
Oh, sorry.
You say every hit?
I mean, that's better than what I said.
Oh, it cut out, but I was like, damn it.
Okay.
Stole my thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, K's a guy who he just relies heavily on his fastball, and that's really his only pitch. And I just think, well, we've seen it so far this year. Guys have been able to get on him, and he's not going deep. He's going to give you 4 innings. I guess he's kind of like that hybrid guy, because I know when he was with the Mets, they were kind of deciding if he was going to be like a full starter or a reliever. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy. He has a profile of a reliever, and I think the Rays will be able to get on him. And then we're going to probably end up having a bullpen game from the Jays.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, so Kay has gone 3 innings, 4 innings, 2 innings, 4 innings in his 4 starts this year, or 4 appearances this year. I think the 2.1 inning game was a relief appearance. But he's given up at least 3 earned in 3 of those 4 outings. So if
Rosarena is hot.
Yeah, Rosarena is hot. So actually, fun fact, yesterday, of all of the players playing yesterday, the model gave a Rosarena the highest chance to hit a home run out of any player.
And he did, right?
And he did.
Yeah. I
haven't looked yet for who that is today. I didn't.
Yeah,
want to
I know that was the next question. I'm like, well.
Mm-hmm. While you're talking about something later, I can take a quick peek.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's even if this is just 2 runs from the Rays against K in 4 innings, I think that already, with Glasnow on the mound, puts the Rays in a very advantageous spot.
Yeah. So keep it simple here. We like the value even at -149.
Yep. Soto is a mortal lock for a home run. Absolutely. We've been giving out nothing but mortal locks on the home runs recently. Boom. So are you ready for a second pick of the day?
Yep, let's hop on into the game total.
All right, and this probably comes as absolutely no surprise to people in here that this is the pick, but we're going to go with the over 11 at -118 in today's game between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. So Ben, you take this one away.
So before I hop into this one, I was looking at my numbers with betting on the Rockies or betting games when the Rockies are involved, and I'm 5-2 on going against the Rockies, and then overall in games with the Rockies, it's like 8-4. So just want to leave it, or I shouldn't leave it. I want to start it with that, because I know some people are like, "Oh, you're a Rockies fan, you're biased," but we're just playing it over here. So we like the conditions. Also, first conditions, Nick. I think we're showing 18-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, like
blowing out
straight out. Let me pull the winds up here, like literally straight out. This is Coors Field today. I mean, I was sitting here, so we live in the Denver area. I was sitting with my window open earlier, and a gust of wind blew something off my window ledge.
That's going to be a baseball over the fence tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So we love the wind. And Nick, I have to say, regardless of the wind, let's say it's at 0 miles per hour, I would still play this 100%.
I don't think I would.
Yeah, I would 100%. I love the spot. I think we're getting value here with the line, because the Rockies are coming off 3 games where I think they put up 1 run. Absolutely terrible home or away stand against the Padres at Petco. But I think there's a little bit of value here with this line. And you're also going up against a pitcher who's making his first career start in Coors Field and first appearance, Seth Frankoff. He's a righty. Doesn't really have anything special to him. Doesn't have a lot of numbers, really. Played in the KBO. I think he was with the Cubs and Pirates a few years back. I think he's going to get rocked tonight, Nick. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, so I picked against Frankoff in one of the streams that you were gone. He was making his first start of the year against the Nationals. And I kind of had the same read on him, but then the Diamondbacks scored like 11 runs in that game off Joe Ross, and that pick lost. Frankoff got himself into a lot of trouble in that game, though, and was able to just work himself out of it. I don't know with this Wind, especially how much success he's going to have working himself out of trouble if he gets himself into trouble in this game, which he will. I mean, he's not gonna come out here and pitch a gem. I think that's for certain. So I like the Diamondbacks to score runs, and I like the Rockies to score runs. I mean, and that's the perfect recipe for a game total over. If you lean both teams over, doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, and then you have the Rockies bullpen. So
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Jack,
And the Diamondbacks bullpen.
yeah, and Jack, I mean, Diamondbacks team total. I actually like Rockies team total a little more. We've probably gone back and forth on that. So I think overall, the best play here is just to play the full game, because you could get one team that goes for 8 runs and then 5, right? Like that's 100% a possibility. So I think with that thinking in mind, because I think both team totals are at 5.5, Nick.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So in my mind, I like to play the full game just because you have the bullpens involved. Marquez is going to give up probably two to 3 runs himself. So I think it just makes sense to play the full game here. And Larry, we love our hockey here.
Yeah,
We just don't really cap it.
I am such a big hockey fan that I can't be unbiased about teams, so I don't handicap it. Like you can see right over there, it's probably a little bit too blurry, but that's a Washington Capitals thing. You can see right there, that is my college hockey jersey hanging up on the wall. I've got the other one hanging up over there. I've got all my hockey gear in the garage. I mean, I'm a huge hockey fan. Just don't cap it because I'm too biased. I care too much about it.
One of these days we'll get a model for that.
Yep. One of these days we will. But yeah. Hockey's by far my best betting sport. It's my worst. I tried at the beginning of the year to kind of be unbiased and give out some hockey picks, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I stopped.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys are new, you thought baseball was hot, wait till football season. Whew. Sheesh.
Larry says, I actually took the Caps in the first round. I'm with you. I mean, I hope the Caps win. I really, really do. I'm not super confident, but fingers crossed.
The emotional hedge.
The emotional hedge. I mean, that's the best kind of hedge. I mean, if that's every bet that I would make on hockey is an emotional bet or an emotional hedge. And
But
and
if you bet against your team,
always
you
good
win
for the
every
wallet.
time.
No, and you lose every time.
So you still win.
True. Are you ready for our team total, Ben?
I am. Let's hop on into it.
All right. So this is one that kind of came about in a really nice way, I think. So this is a pick. I think the biggest discrepancy between a Vegas line for a team total and what the model had a team total at, and then also completely independently of that, a pick that after I posted it, Ben said I was looking at that too. So that's a good sign. So our team total is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers over 4.5 at minus 115. So Brewers going up against the Cincinnati Reds, Jeff Hoffman on the mound. Ben, you can fill us in, I'm sure, on Hoffman's pitching abilities or lack thereof.
Yeah, I mean he's not a good pitcher in my eyes, and I think the numbers support that. So that's the start with this one. So, I mean, anytime he's on the mound, you definitely have to take a closer look at the numbers here. And I saw 4.5 here, and I was like, love it. I honestly thought this would be like a 5.5, Nick. I mean, maybe I'm a little off
I think
but
you're a little off there. You have a little bit of you have a bias against a lot of former Rockies pitchers.
Yeah,
there was
really
another former Rockies pitcher that we were talking about today, in regards to a Nerfy, and Ben was like, no. I was leaning Yerfy because of this guy.
Yeah. Well, it was more because of the Braves bats, but You are correct.
Also, so this is not a wise pick. I absolutely love at plus 100 the nerfy in Braves Pirates today, but Ben vetoed it, so it's not an official pick.
I'm a Yurfie on that one.
But yeah, so the model in this game had Brewers at 6.15 runs today. So a full run and a half, and then a little bit more over this 4.5 number. Brewers are, they're in a great spot. So I mean, it's in Cincinnati, which is a hitter's park. Christian Yelich is back, and that's just another lefty in the lineup against this kind of soft throwing righty in Jeff Hoffman. I think that the Brewers are going to hit some dingers potentially, and I don't know. I don't have a lot more to say about it than that. I just think it's a great value spot.
Yeah, and he's a guy who allows his fair share of walks and gives up a pretty fast exit velocity too. So that's not a good combination. If you guys, if a guy like that leaves someone on base from walking him, and then boom.
Oh yeah, and the last thing also is the Reds pitching staff has just been getting beat up by the Giants over the last 4 games. So I think the bullpen is going to be tired for Cincinnati. The bullpen is tired and demotivated, so they're going to get to Hoffman a little bit, and then they get the kind of mediocre Reds bullpen after that. So if they don't get 4.5 directly off of Hoffman.
Yep, I like it.
I like it too. Are you ready for our player prop?
Yep.
All right. So player prop today is another thing that I think is just a pure value play. So we're going to go Trevor Bauer over 7.5 strikeouts at minus 152. So let me find this real quick. Almost clicked on the Cleveland game thinking that he was still on Cleveland. He is not. So here, Trevor Bauer.
Speaking of that, Nick, the bats of the Giants haven't really seen this guy because he was in the American League.
Yeah, exactly. So the Giants, like we just said, have been hot. They scored a ton of runs on Cincinnati. But do you know what else they did a lot against Cincinnati? They struck out a lot.
Struck out
in those games. The Giants, actually, and this might come as a surprise to some people, have the highest strikeout rate in the league against right-handed pitching.
Surprises me a little bit, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And that was the case before Luis Castillo put up 11 Ks on them. I mean, even in the game where the Giants put up 16 runs yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They struck out 10 times.
It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to show where the MLB is, and there isn't a lot of correlation, I would say, between strikeouts and. Well, maybe the correlation is you strike out a lot, you hit a lot of home runs. I don't know.
No, that is 100% the correlation, because you swing harder.
That's great. That's so crazy.
So you miss more, but when you do make contact, it goes out. There's your analytics.
That 100%. It's just like the teams now in the NBA who shoot more threes are the teams that are in the final or are in the playoffs.
Exactly. I mean,
pretty wild.
I think that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It's like swinging.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I was scared if you're going to be like, nah, that's actually way off.
Yeah, Ben,
it was the first thing that popped in my head.
Analogy.
So I'm glad that one worked. But yeah, I mean, Bauer, you said it. He's facing, a team that is hot, but they're striking out. So I think that's good value here, because I'm sure people are looking at this game and they're like, well, the Giants they're on fire, but they're like, okay, but let's look at the actual strikeout numbers here.
Yeah, I mean, and also, so completely aside from the fact that the Giants strike out more against right-handed pitching than anybody else in the league, Bauer, obviously, I mean, is one of the top K guys in the league on the mound. I mean, this year, he's 77 strikeouts in 57 innings. He's made 9 starts this year. He's gone over, not even over 7.5. He's gone over 8.5 in 6 out of 9 starts this year. In two more of those starts, he finished at exactly 7. And the last one he finished at 6. So he's a super consistent pitcher. I really think he goes for 10 strikeouts in this one. This kind of feels to me like almost like the Carlos Rodon one that we had a while ago, where we took a Rodon over 7.5 Ks against the Tigers, and he hit it on, I think, like the 11th or 12th batter of the game. I really wouldn't be surprised if Bauer pulls a similar thing here today.
Mm-hmm.
So that level of confidence is why we're happy taking this even at minus 152.
Yep. An interesting note here: this is his first ever start against the Giants, or of course, in San Francisco. So, fun little note there.
Yeah, the only guy in the Giants lineup that he's faced before is Evan Longoria, and Longoria is 0 for 7 against him
with the Rays. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be a fun series, though.
Oh, it is.
Forward to it. I mean, they basically. I think Nick. Actually, he told me off air yesterday, but they kind of pushed the start for him to today.
The Giants. Oh yeah. You're right. It was Bauer got pushed back a day.
Mm-hmm. So and then tomorrow, do you know who we have tomorrow?
I mean, probably somebody good.
Kershaw's got to be.
I mean, you could just pick a random guy from each team's starting rotation, and it'll be a good pitching matchup.
I mean, the top, and then you're going to have Walker Buehler. It's got to be Buehler and Kershaw, I would say.
Could be. I mean, or Urias.
Yeah.
I mean, but 2 of those 3.
Let's see. I'm going to look right now. I'm just curious because I know the series is pretty big. Like both, divisional game series, both teams want to get wins here. I don't see anything up right now, so we'll have to see.
I'm taking a look. So for tomorrow,
look backwards.
It's looking like it's going to be Buehler for the Dodgers tomorrow. I don't see anybody listed for San Francisco.
And then Kershaw on Sunday, maybe.
And then on the 23rd, it's going to be Urias and DeSclafani. But yeah, this is going to be a really exciting series. The NL West as a whole is really, I think, the home to the most exciting baseball in the league this year.
Hell yeah, those Rockies, baby.
Mm-hmm. You've got 3 of the best teams, 3 of the most exciting teams in the league right now, with some different play styles. I mean, in the Dodgers and the Padres, along with the Giants. The Giants pitching staff is amazing. And then even if you have a game involving Colorado and Arizona, like we do today also, you can at least expect a lot of runs, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm. And I actually think the Diamondbacks are a better team than the record shows, for what that's worth.
I agree.
18-27. I mean, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they should be closer around that 500 range. Mm-hmm. But they're pitching. They have a few holes in there.
Yeah, they have a few holes in the pitching staff, and then some injuries on offense. Like Ketel Marte was out for a while, just came back. I mean, and also it's hard to put up a good record when you play the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants 20 times each year.
Yeah, ask the Rockies. Mm-hmm. They played the Dodgers 9 times already. They played the Giants, I think, 6 times. Padres 6. Yeah. So there's no surprise they're 15-29.
No, not at all. All right. Are you ready for the last pick, our Nerfy for today?
I am. I like this one a lot, too.
I like this one a lot as well. So our no-run first inning pick for today is going to be a no-run first inning in the game between the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins. So we're going back against the Marlins for the second day in a row, taking Marcus Stroman and the Mets as well. So Stroman on the mound for the Mets, Jordan Holloway on the mound for the Marlins. So Holloway is a kind of interesting pitcher. So he kind of came up more as a reliever as opposed to a starter. Or, I mean, I guess that was his projection coming up. He started in the minors, but was kind of projected. Book has 8 for Bauer K's to like it. I really do. So Ben kind of vetoed over 8.5 at plus 100, which I'm fine with. I think the 7.5 is much safer. But I personally do like the 8 or over 8.
I would say even. 8 at minus 125. For me personally, is the lowest I would go with the odds. But I know Nick would probably maybe play it up to 135, 130
at 8. Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs, but you never know.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the 8.5 at plus 100. I was willing to put that on the screen. So, I think that goes to show how much I like Bauer today. So Holloway, 7 appearances so far this year, 2 starts, 5 in relief. He's given up in his first 5 appearances, which I think were the 5 relief appearances, didn't give up a run in any of them. And then in his 2 starts, at Arizona and at the Dodgers, gave up a first inning run once. Just a solo home run, I believe. No, not a solo home run. Just a regular hit RBI against the Diamondbacks. So Holloway, again, probably only going to go 3 or 4 innings today. So I'm really expecting him to bring some good stuff against the Mets lineup. And the Mets don't look all that great, really.
I mean, they're still a weird team offensively.
Yeah, they are.
Can't put my finger on it. They're just pressing, I think, at the plate.
I agree. I mean, so the top of the lineup is looking like Villar, Lindor, Alonso, Dominic Smith. And, I mean, these are talented guys, but none of them are really hitting for average or for power this year.
Yeah, like Pete Alonso in particular, just watching him, it just seems like, I don't know, he's just waiting on like a pitch to smash over the wall. And if he doesn't get that, then what?
Yeah, I mean, then
what are we doing here?
Then he can go ride the pine.
Mm-hmm. So, Nick, I wish there was an easy way to track this. But you have a guy like Jordan Holloway who is facing a respective offense who hasn't seen him before. I would love to see the numbers somehow, some way, to see how a pitcher in that first inning performs against a team who's never seen him before. Has to be pretty good. It has to be pretty good. Even if it's a young guy who maybe doesn't have the best numbers, it just seems like, in my head, looking at MLB for the last 4 to 5 years, it just seems like in that first inning, they're offensively, the teams are just kind of feeling him out. It's kind of like a boxer, right? What's he doing? It's kind of chilling. I really feel that. And talking to some guys who know baseball a lot more than I do, like Craig, who I know he said something similar to that, where it's just like guys aren't taking swings at balls like they would with a guy who they know, right? They're just kind of seeing if they can, walk me. When you get into a hitter's count, you're going to take advantage of that. But long story short, I wish there was an easy way you could track that. And if anyone in the chat finds that out for me, I'll give you like a rookie card of someone, because I have so many freaking sports cards. It's insane. So think that motivates people enough?
Maybe.
I mean, this one's worth like $50. So crap. And then someone screenshotted that. Mm-hmm. They're like, all right, I'm doing the research as we speak. Anyways, long story short, Nerfy. Yes, we like it.
Well, yeah, we haven't talked to the other side yet either.
Oh yeah, Stroman. Let's talk about Stroman.
Yeah, so
I like the guy a lot.
Yeah, Stroman is a solid pitcher. I'm still fascinated. So the Toronto Blue Jays back like 7 or 8 years ago had such a good farm system pitching wise. It was insane. They had Marcus Stroman as a prospect. They had Noah Syndergaard as a prospect. They had Aaron Sanchez, who is a guy I really like, as a prospect. And I think that there was even one more that I'm not remembering, who was like a
lesser guy, but still a guy you would want on your team.
MLB pitcher, all just like in the minors at the same time. But anyways,
and then they all said, "We're leaving."
They all got traded. So I mean, Syndergaard got traded for R.A. Dickey. Sanchez,
wasn't that Syndergaard thing like weird? I thought there was like something going on there. Maybe I'm making things up
I think
in my
you're
head.
making things up. I think
He didn't want to play there.
you're making things up. He was a
I'm looking
prospect.
it up right now.
He has no ability to say that.
Nick, we know that's not true, though. Okay, maybe if you're not at that point, he wasn't a star, but you know what I'm
He's
saying.
literally never played in the majors.
Said James Harden mentality, bro.
You can do that in the NBA. You cannot do that in the MLB.
Question: what if Trevor Lawrence said, "I will not play for Jacksonville"?
Well, I mean, that's happened before, right?
John Elway.
Eli Manning,
Yeah, people forget about that.
Bo Jackson.
John Elway, drafted by the Colts. Said
Eli
I don't know if it was
Manning drafted by the Chargers.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to play here. Put me on the Giants, and I'm going to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yes,
Yeah.
Stroman.
Anyways, Stroman. I mean,
I like Stroman a lot, Nick.
yeah, I do too. He's a really good pitcher. I think he's really starting to put it all together. These last couple of years of his career. So I'm looking at nerfies for him. So he's made 9 starts this year.
I'm going to guess 6-3.
He's 7-2 nerfy
7-2, okay.
on the year. And also in all 9 of those games, actually, the Mets didn't score any runs in the first inning. So that's a literal 7-2 on the nerfies. Like sometimes, obviously, one pitcher won't give up a run, but another one will. So the actual nerfies are 7-2 in Stroman starts. And this Marlins team is one that we kind of like to pick on the nerfies. Again, we picked against them yesterday. They're a decent team, but there's not really a lot of worrisome pop at the top of the lineup.
That is Larry. Yeah, that's very true. DeGrom knows all about that one.
Yeah. Also, Snook, I'm going to get to your comment when we're done with this, because I think that's a really interesting point of discussion. Also, I guess we kind of are done with this.
Yeah, the last thing I was going to say is Stroman, if you watch the game today, he's a very interesting pitcher because he likes to use his sinker almost 50% of the time. So fun to watch, and his slider's just nasty. Like, good luck trying to hit that. But yeah, we can talk about that because I know we've been talking about that in the Discord a little bit, and like, there's something going on, but it's trying to pinpoint why.
Yeah, so I mean, I think certainly the elevated RPMs increase strikeouts, 100%. I mean, if the ball is rotating more, it's gonna break more, and then it's gonna be harder to hit. I mean, that's just the physics. Is it increasing home runs? I don't know. I think that there's kind of the potential for meatballs that get, like, if you try and really spin something and then it doesn't quite work,
spin.
then that's
Goes on
an
a
easy
flat plane.
Yeah, then that's an easy pitch to just knock out of the park. I think also it's a combination of that, along with, like I was saying earlier, the hitters just swinging harder, swinging for the fences as opposed to trying to hit for contact. So if you miss, you really miss and you strike out. If you make contact, it's a lot more likely to go out of the park. There's a lot of discussion about, like, substances that people are applying to the ball also. I mean, that we can speculate on that. It's not anything that we can make definitive statements about.
Also, the balls, potentially the laces have been protruding out of the ball more than typically. But Nick, I will say this. I did see a few numbers on the spin rates, and it's pretty insane how much they've increased. And there was a guy basically saying, like, well, I don't really know how much someone could do in the off season to really get the spin rate, like, to jump up like X percentage, right? So it's hard to say what's going on, but it is interesting. It really is.
I agree. I mean, so that's a kind of recent scouting, analytics, something along those lines, combination of those things, tool is looking at stuff like spin rate. on the
they didn't
pitches.
have
Because
that like 5 years ago. That was readily available to the public. I would say maybe even 3 years ago. I'm not sure, but
so I think it's something that is really a point of emphasis these days. Seams make for better grip, and if you have better grip, you can put more RPM on the ball. And then also, if it's more RPM, the seams, if they're protruding more, they're also gonna cause more they're gonna create more drag, more resistance moving through the air, and that causes more break.
Yeah, they said something where you would rather have an increase in your spin rate versus velocity, more or less, because I mean, throw a 98 mile per hour ball down the middle, but it's not moving. It's probably easier to hit than like a 90, 92 mile per hour ball that has some crazy movement, from what I've been hearing. So, and again, I'm not a baseball expert.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I take batting practice against major league pitchers like every day, so I know firsthand. No, not at all.
Make contact 1 out of 100 times, and that would be impressive.
I'd be lucky. I'd probably be scared.
I know, especially like the ball too. Especially after we sat behind home plate, it's like, Jesus. Get hit in the head, Kevin Pillar. God. Respect
Bauer,
for him though, Nick. Pillar. The reporters are like, "How you doing?" He's like, "I'm doing fine. I feel for the pitcher." I'm like, "What?" Just got hit in the head with a baseball.
Well, I mean, it's like an accident.
Like, yeah, he's like, I just feel really bad because I don't want him to feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like Corey Perry yesterday with John Tavares. I mean, obviously feel bad for Tavares, but
yeah,
you got to feel for Corey Perry also having to
funny thing about Pillar
cause something like that.
When Jose Batiste got knocked out by Odor or got punched in the face, Pillar in that video, it literally like comes running in throwing blows. There's like it's like 8 Rangers around him. So he's about that life. I'm not surprised. He's like sitting there with 2 black guys like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spin rate stuff is interesting. I mean, at a certain point, it's fun to track from our end, but we only need to know it at a high level. It gets too deep where we're going to overanalyze stuff when handicapping, I would say, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't think all that useful from a handicapping perspective. It's super useful from a front office side of things perspective.
Yeah, I guarantee you, right this second, all the teams with analytics are aware of all the spin rates and all that kind of stuff because it's. I mean, definitely
I know that they are.
Yeah, like you 100. I know you know.
Like I know people who work in those roles.
You should try to ask them what the increase is in spin rate across the board from 2 years ago. That'd be pretty interesting.
We actually probably could look that up.
Yeah, I looked it up a few times and I was getting just like different numbers. Like, so I'm like, how accurate are they? Like who and where are you getting these numbers from? Type thing.
Well, they have I mean, PitchFX is the go-to resource for that.
So how do they actually track that, Nick?
Cameras. Fancy cameras.
That's crazy. PitchFX. They need to train a pitcher when he's like 16 and just try to make him have the most outrageous spin rate.
They're already doing that.
And they don't even care how fast you throw it. It's just like that wiffle ball movement.
Well, no, the wiffle ball movement is 0 spin rate.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though. Like some crazy movement.
Yeah, just a slider that'll break 5 feet.
Oh, I'm thinking of that there's another wacky sport that's similar to wiffle ball. Have you seen it? Where you throw like these, it's like a yellow ball, and you can throw these crazy curveballs.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I was kind of thinking of. But yeah, man, it's wild to see it. It's something's going on, and I'm sure like at the end of the year we'll all figure it out and be like, oh my god.
Yeah. Also, it is a little sketchy that the Dodgers have the 4 highest RPMs.
Of course, it would be a big market team. I wonder if the Rockies are last.
Yeah, they also have the loudest trash cans. No, they don't. That's the Astros.
Snooker ball? I can't tell if he's trolling me.
I don't think he's trolling. I mean, it's not like he said like Ligma ball or something. Then that would be a troll.
Stickball?
Yeah, they need to stop fucking with balls. Agreed. They just gotta keep it consistent, so you kind of know what to expect.
You guys aren't even ready for that humidor conversation either.
No. All right. So we got to talk about the Cardinals-Cubs game also,
Yes.
because Jack is going to be in attendance. So, interesting pitching matchup in this one. Kyle Hendricks on the mound for the Cubs, and Carlos Martinez on the mound for the Cardinals. So Hendricks is a really interesting pitcher. We've talked about Hendricks some on stream because we've been involved. We had picks on a couple of games that he's been involved in. He's a guy with really extreme home and away splits. So
very extreme.
He's fantastic at Wrigley, and he's not fantastic everywhere else. Like over the last 3 years, his ERA at home is 2.53, ERA on the road 4.85. Obviously, these two pitchers have faced the opposite teams a lot since they're in a division. Pitchers who have been on these teams for a long time. Hendricks has a couple guys on the Cardinals who give him some fits. Paul Goldschmidt, 10 for 27 against Hendricks. Nolan Arenado is 7 for 25 with 2 homers. Yadier Molina is 10 for 37. Some of the younger guys, not a whole lot of sample size. So those couple things combined kind of make me like the ability of the Cardinals to put up a couple runs. I also think the Cubs are going to score. Going to score some runs in this one. So Carlos Martinez is a really interesting pitcher, I would say. So he came up as 100-mile-an-hour flamethrower. And he's kind of really changed his game over the last couple of years. So I mean, he was a K per 9 guy his first few years, and now this year he only has 22 strikeouts in 41 innings. Playing much more the contact and control game as opposed to the try and blow 100 miles an hour through the strike zone and you're going to be late or it's going to go out of the park, that kind of thing. He's also had a lot of experience against the Cubs with a little bit more success. So you have a guy like Chris Bryant, only 7 for 34 against Martinez. Javier Baez is actually only 2 for 24 against Carlos Martinez. Anthony Rizzo is 11 for 45. Then a couple other guys. Wilson Contreras, 7 for 18 with a homer. Ian Happ, 5 for 16 with 2 homers. Also, Ian Happ is very hot right now.
What?
What? No, Happ had 2 home runs yesterday. He's now got 4 homers in his last 5 games. I
think he played for the Rockies too.
I think you're right.
No, he didn't actually. Why did I think that?
I don't know. Why did I think you were right?
Because you trust me.
I do. I do trust you. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So something else that's interesting is the model actually really likes the Cubs in this one. I think that after the Rays game, it has the Cubs as the second best value play on the board, money line wise. So the Cubs are at -112. Cardinals are at +104. I think it really boils down to, can Hendricks kind of mitigate some of the damage? Will he play okay despite it not being at Wrigley? And I think that the Carlos Martinez profile that he has going on right now is one that can kind of lead to him getting blown up a little bit from time to time. I really don't like pitchers that don't strike a lot of guys out, that kind of put a lot of balls in play. It just sketches me out, and I feel like they're always just one swing away from disaster.
I would lean with the Cardinals here.
You lean Cardinals, so I actually kind of lean Cubs.
Really, but do we both like over though?
I like the over. I think the over, and also if you're going to be at the game and you're going to be rooting, I think a small Yurfie bet is actually appropriate here. The model has Yurfie in this one at. I think it likes the Yurfie quite a bit. Oh no, it actually doesn't. It likes the Nerfie, but that's okay. That's just the model. I kind of like the Yurfie here. With the kind of potent top of the lineups that each of these teams have, and the amount of contact that we should expect to be seeing. So I would lean Yurfie. I like the Yurfie, and I kind of like the over. AKA fun baseball to root for when you're at the game.
Yurfie.
So I got nothing else. Ben, you got anything else?
Nope. I think that's it. Join us in a few hours, though. We'll be back live to discuss some NBA. So.
That we will. Again, that is coming at 5:00 p.m. Mountain Time. Full NBA playoff preview.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Tis.
Some really good value on the board, in my opinion. We got some crazy future lines all over the place here. So we got to break them down a little bit. For example, Nick, the Lakers, 7 seed. They're the favorite to win the series.
Yeah, I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, probably the last, too.
Oh, maybe.
I don't think we'll see that again. Well, who knows? The NBA. We're going to tank for a 7 seed. Yep. That's kind of how I thought it went.
All right. So that's going to wrap up the stream for now. Again, we'll be back 5:00 Mountain Time tonight with an NBA preview, NBA playoff preview, and then we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time with 5 more very, very wise baseball picks. Good luck to everyone, as always. Happy birthday again to T. Cherry if you're still here. Have fun at the game, Jack. And we'll see you all later.
All right, guys. See you later.